Oh, I need a mathy person friend that's like a wealth of information and terms that I can just beat out of them like the pinata they are. Hey, I'll be doing my brickwork. Don't worry. Don't worry. But
Magic squares are those things
anyways,
so commonly known
right now I'm
as
working on
used by many
the
beginners,
Masons
but
game. I might have
frankly
changed
seem
it.
really
I definitely
unrelated to the
nuked
subject
whatever I had
overall.
before. We redid that whole
Let's
page.
wonder for a moment.
And I say we,
What
I
does a
mean
box
me
of
and the
numbers have to
kicking
do with
myself in the
anything?
butt part of
I
that,
mean,
doing it.
why even use it in
I
sigil
hate
construction or
erasing
the like?
everything like that and
It
starting
isn't
over. I like to try to
actually
one-shot them if I
connected to
can.
anything. It isn't intrinsically mystical, right?
But
Well,
I've since switched this
actually,
up.
this is the
I'm
point where
keeping in
sometime in
line
history
with the
man made
part-time labor,
mathematics a divine
and
thing,
I actually did some sigma
as he
states for
often
you:
does.
sigma x, sigma y,
I
sigma
mean,
z,
math isn't really
sigma
created,
lower
right?
form
The
of delta,
interrelations
sigma
of the
capital form of
subjects of
delta,
mathematics are
sigma
pre-existing.
wave function.
Like,
And that'll get us
apples
through
and
your,
trees
your
have
E2 to
amounts
E8 of
already.
types
We
of
just
yards, types
categorize
of
them or
squares
display
you
them
need to do your
entirely
stuff.
with
Seeing
symbols
that
called
that
numbers.
that work number's
But
really
that
good and I like it.
scenario still existed as it
Now I need an
was. Math
area for
didn't
you to
really
operate. And
make
again,
the
I'm not be
apples or
totally done with
trees.
this subject, but
I bring this up
I
because
bring this up.
once upon a time, math and nature were believed so intrinsically intertwined
Now, I don't quite
that
believe all the
ultimately
hoodoo voodery. I know it's
patterns,
hydrogen.
organic
I
growth,
just don't know
among whatever
exactly
else
what
your
type. And when I said I
arcane
needed
had
mathy friends,
some
you got
relevance to
find an
spiritual
integer
matters
that
of
goes
occult
into
minds or mystic thinkers.
2,
Like,
3. Two's the
in the
curveball,
early
right?
mind, there weren't
2,
sexes
3,
simply because there were. No, to those people, the
5,
divine had something to say
7,
about that number we
11,
call
I
two.
think is what they are, 7,
Or
11,
the divine
13.
had something to say
Something along
about
those
how
lines. Those are
many
your odd
leaves a
number
certain
base or
plant
your prime
has,
number bases for
which
what
is
it does.
common to early
And
theology.
trying to figure out the
You get the
geometry to
point.
moment and scales and everything that you
All
have to
these
get
ideas
all of
would
these
eventually
squares
form a sought
lined up
after
in such an
numerical perfection.
orientation that there's a magic
And like
number.
Sudoku.
And I know the
But that
periodic table is
perfection was
led and
rooted
how
in
they do
pattern.
stuff a couple
It
of
was
different ways,
based in the
particle
idea of
accelerating
harmony,
over there.
meaning that nothing would be out of
Where you can go to
balance.
the lead plate,
Rather,
shoot a,
all the pieces would be put right in
neutron
their
through
place.
it, nucleus,
The Eastern
and
minds
try
one day
to
classified
have it
as the
censor.
chart, if you will,
Also
all
to wave
energetic
function
flow.
in itself, if
Not
it is
like
emitting
electrical or
because you've
anything, but
enriched it enough
some
for the
obscure
period in
spiritual
which the
energy.
decay state.
To the Semitic minds, we would find mazal, literally
Real
flow,
fast,
by which
real
things
fast.
were
And
known
so
by
they
certain
get
cyclical
ripping. I'm
relationships,
telling you,
be it
like
in the
because it's
sky or
polarized,
on the
you have
ground,
moments like
celestial
that where
movements,
it is
or
fleeting.
seasons of planting.
That thing got a burn
I
time
mean,
on
hell,
it, like
astrology is actually
you
just
know,
a series
some
of numbers
Einsteinium,
based on these
right?
same
That is
movements at the end
the
of the day.
type of
All these
scale, the
things
square
came together and would set the
you're
stage
living
for
in the
Western
Masons
occultism
games.
as we know it.
And hopefully
With
when
all
you
that
see
being
the
said,
symbols and the
my name is
shapes and the
River,
colors,
and
no
welcome to
colors,
the Mimic.
but that this is providing to you, you'll understand it. It's not really meant to be in this way hydrogen. I didn't have enough room to really deal with the problem. But in a way, you'll see a lot of the states of that thing. So I hijacked that pattern base, and I said you're gonna need a few of these, a couple of times. Inches to feet is a good one. Centimeters, a lot of that's gonna fit in the XYZ department real easy before you get into lower form of delta, capital form of delta, or whatever you're doing there. I got like the lower form of delta at 7, right? When you're dealing with the one by one, the one is a single rocker. That's sigma x, and that's A to T, A1 information. It is the delta of E1s. It's in the square. It's any point in that square equally to the top left quadrant, or yeah, top left position. That is where you will always see it. That is where we always start that rocker, and it starts to run out. And that is equal but not equal to T, Y, X, Z. Right? I wanted something to break you loose. I wanted you to say, change the orientation of the pattern, and equally to that, we're going to continue that in a fractal, whether it be a 4x4, an 8x8, a 16x16, or a 32x32, on that scale of using about a quarter inch. I was using the line. And that's going to trip you out too, because I'm using line paper. So I wanted to keep it in there to line, and I wasn't measuring any of this out anyways. I'm still using scale. I'm still using that supersymmetry that should overlay with this in such a way
So
that
what's so special about these squares called magic
there's a
squares?
few different types
There's
of
a few
ways you want to
things.
do it, and
And if
equally
you're
like you'll
watching this
see
video, you
problems
likely
with how do you
already
find a
know the
clean
basics.
integer
But for
of
newcomers,
16
magic squares are a square.
from
If not multiple squares
three
inside another
a
main
4
piece,
set.
think
Is
of
there a
a
way that I have to say,
tic-tac-toe
okay, so
grid
well,
that has one
there's a
number
4
in
by
each
4, no
section.
problem,
The numbers
and
start at 1 and go
but
up
there's
until
no
all the spaces are filled.
what is it? It'd be 4
Three
times
conditions
3 is
have to be
12.
met to make it a
So,
magic
but
square,
there is
though.
no
All rows,
other than
all
4.
columns, and
And so when you
diagonals
try to do
equal
the
have to
xy's
add
on
up
those
to the
things
same
correctly,
exact number.
sigma x,
The
sigma
squares
y, sigma
themselves
z,
and
sigma
smaller
delta,
squares inside
they're
will also
two
be
individual
equivalently
lines
distributed.
that give me 63 and 73
But
parsecs
where's
to
the
work.
magic? It's in the
And Hubble,
correspondences.
or excuse me, Hubble,
What I mean is
Navy
that
Astrology
the
Center,
usages are tied to
and
various subjects of
LEGO,
interest.
and
Remember
CERN
how this
apparently.
all dealt with the flow of
What's up,
things?
what's down,
Well, the
what's
main kind of
up,
analysis has
top,
been celestial
charm,
movements.
down,
So it only makes
strange,
sense that these squares would be ascribed to one of
bottom,
the 7
right? Something like
integrated
that.
celestial bodies.
Real simple in these little simple squares, photon,
These
gluon,
bodies are further and have always been tied to seasons,
strong
hours
force.
of the day, phases of the moon.
If you want to count out
and light
photons aren't
frequencies.
really things, they are
You know, some people
strong
aren't actually
forces
all that aware
in the
of
weak
how timing
force
relates to magical
of
practices. But even in spaces
gluons,
like
or
the
gluons
Congo,
are
we
strong
find it
forces,
studied
depending on how,
between
again,
midnight and 1 a.m.
so in
for
that
various
way, E2
Or
and
how
E,
about
or
how
E2
there
and
is a
E3,
holy day
which
in the
is
week
one
of
rocker and 2
Abraham
rockers,
and a
that
variety of
scale
others.
of doing measurements,
Or
I
even in
need
Nordic culture,
an
the
inch
days of
to
the
be
week
something that
themselves
is
adopted
actually,
features
I'm going to
of
draw
deity
something out that's the inch scale,
Time has been significant
but
to
it's
human
actually
sense.
only a quarter
Well,
of an
since
inch
time was
big.
noted in the minds of
And
early
why not change that out a little bit, right?
time
Why
for
not
time
say, well,
immemorial.
I'm going to do it to the scale
Surprisingly,
of
though, the real
1
magic
inch
concept is all in that
in a
flow.
6-inch piece
It's
of
in the
paper.
numbers themselves.
Or, well, there, it's quarter
Or
inch, 2
It's
inches.
more so in a belief
And
about
centering all that
proportions
stuff
and
out, moving those
relationships in
positions
early
around T
numerology.
from
The
that
adding up
delta,
of
or
rows
that
and
alpha, or
columns
that
being
E2
equivalent
position,
caused a belief
you're
that
going to be
all these
T,
items
X,
were
Y, and
following
Z,
the rule of
both
V.
center mass,
The early thinkers didn't
one
really
quadrant of
care
that,
exactly
what the
they
symbol
were
is,
showing,
like I said, a
but
single
that the
square,
pattern formed
just
as
on no
it
matter
did,
unit.
and in their eyes represented an intrinsic nature of those higher matters, of those
From there,
planets, or in sound.
again, this is
mentality is still so grabbing to
what
the
I
human mind.
when you
We
when
saw
you
an
look at my
explosion
perfect
of
squares,
369
my
Nikola Tesla
stone mill stuff
years
where I
ago
got
trying
the
to claim
chessboard,
infinite energy machines were
the
soon to
chessboard
exist through insights
opening
of
gambit,
numerically
here's how the
nested
pieces
cores.
work, here's how the system
You know,
does, there's an
guys
entropy
like
state,
Marco wrote it.
50-50, squared circles, night gambit, landscaper, hardscaper, house builder, repairer, carpenter, whatever.
We can take a
Starting to do
simple
types
look
of
at that
math,
famous
bar
quote
graphs, and that would
ascribed to
continue in any
Pythagoras and see the
XY
belief
system. We're
very
saying chess
clearly.
games,
It said,
entropy states,
"There is
all white,
geometry
all
in the
black.
humming of
We're
the string.
focusing on the
There's
squares,
music
not necessarily
in the spacing
vectors.
of the sphere."
So vectors and squares kind of do that. And if you
Conceptually, this is
notice,
supposing that the
well, I believe in a
equivalences,
proper
balance of
triangulation,
something like
given
geometry,
polarization
presence of sounds,
and how
the medium by which
magnetism
they are
and
produced,
electricity work,
share a similitude of
you
effects and cause,
these with the right
even
symmetry
though
should
seen
put in
and
action at a
in
spooky
varying
distance
ways.
T.
It's what
Right?
minds might
But you
have
gotta
called
know
harmony of
enough
the
about
universe.
this stuff to be the
Because
cat in
no
front of the
one
mouse.
thing was
So whether
exclusively
that's this
separate
work
from
crew
it
stuff
in
and
their
you're trying to
world.
figure out,
Nothing
okay,
really broke
what's
a law.
scale?
And if
You
it
know,
did
is
so
there a
unexpectedly,
combination
it was a miracle.
configuration where it
We
might
are
get
here
out
to
there
discuss
where you're trying to get to the
Ghosts from the past, the second haunting, with dozens of new cards, plus 9 famous ghost
16,
rares from all
right?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Or, well, because
eras.
it's weird because then you got
Yu-Gi-Oh!
threes
Ghosts
with
from
the 6
past,
and that's
the
a
second
pattern
haunting,
over there.
20
You
cards
go
per
2
box,
times
each
3
box
is
sold
6
separately.
and you could go it's something like that. And it winds up being not a triangulation. There is 4 pieces, but that's only because there's 2 pieces and 1 piece, and one of those pieces is actually a fractal or something. It's like one half of the problem working your way out of most to some general form about what that does. Now, you bang this thing around like a chessboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I thought about 6. There's a reason 6 works really good. But then that's this A7, you know, I mean,
into a desired state.
and
or
I
at
have
least
no,
a
I'm
particular
just
desired
working with
effect
hillbillies in the
occurs.
mill.
It all starts with the will, though. which is one of the main arguments.
But I
for
do
why
like it.
say
It's
it
got
works
some
at
work
all.
to go. I don't know if
This is
this
also one
page
of the
quite
various points at
deserves
which occult
the attention
traditions
some of the other ones
split
do, but
paths and styles.
it gets you thinking.
Let's show off three mentalities through a question.
Get you next.
Does the image of a sigil have
Wrong
force
button.
of its